to react to the world.
And today, we're going to Japan. That's right, a beautiful country. We've been there before. Although last time we went, we were sick through the whole trip, so really didn't get to enjoy much of it. That's a whole nother story. But today I thought it would be interesting to watch a video about what it's like being the average Japanese salaryman. I know. Okay, it doesn't sound interesting, but hear me out.
Okay.
In Japan, right, they're known for the work grind. And I think that's the case actually for a number of countries in Asia. Like in China, you know, many people work hard and grind. In South Korea. And the same thing with Japan. And it's an interesting life because literally from day to night, they just work. And even after work, they got to hang out with their office mates. Like they don't get a chance to like go home and have a social life and or have a girlfriend even or have a life. Life.
Period.
So I've always been curious like what that is like. And this guy, Paolo from Tokyo, great channel, by the way. You absolutely should follow it if you love all things Japanese. We're all about really experiencing these different cultures. I want to see what this is like.
The same with me.
That's right. How little freedom they truly have in life. So that
really know
perhaps
John.
you can appreciate the fact that we could be doing this and build it up as a living when this option in Japan just doesn't exist for them. Their life is forever locked into this gerbil treadmill. And we're going to find out what it's really like.
All right,
and maybe you will appreciate more of this.
More of this.
Anything but the grind. How about that?
Okay. All right, let's watch this.
Let's do it. And away we go. Ooh, love that title card.
Wow, look at the camera.
Whoa, the quality of this video
Yes.
footage is freaking amazing.
This is Makoto, a 27-year-old single salaryman living in Tokyo, and he's just waking up for work.
Wait, he has a big house. That's a big house.
He must be living at home or something. Yeah, there's no way most people have a house that big.
He prefers to skip showers in the morning, as well as skipping breakfast at home, very common in Japan, and also time efficient. His house is relatively large for Tokyo, but he shares it with his family who run their business from the first floor. Looks like the rest of the family is still asleep.
That's why. The house is on top
In
of
summer,
their
Tokyo becomes
store.
unbearably hot, so he dresses in cool biz, meaning light attire, no tie, or suit jacket. Some traditional Japanese companies don't agree though, and you'll catch some of these salarymen walking the streets in the video. Makoto, how long does it take you to get ready?
朝は10分から15分ぐらいで準備ができます。
What?
That's even faster than me. What?
I wish I could do that.
His house is very Western, actually. It's not like typical Japanese minimalistic style, you know? It's got a lot of knickknacks and collectibles and
Makoto lives too
feels
far
very
from the
lived
nearest
in.
train station, Akabane,
Very
to walk
Western.
every morning, so he takes a mamacheri, a Japanese slang for mom's bike. Many people who live far
Mom's
from the
bike.
station ride their bikes and park them in paid spaces, as the city confiscates bikes in undesignated spots.
And then walk.
So there's this unwritten escalator etiquette in Tokyo. Stand on the left and walk on the right. As you can see, Makoto's excited to get to work, so no standing for him.
It's opposite in the US.
So Akabane is in the northern part of Tokyo, right next to Saitama. Makoto's office is located in Korakuen, which is luckily in the northern part of Tokyo as well. So he only has a 30-minute
That's what I
train
love
ride to
about
work,
in
which is half the time for a
Japan.
standard Tokyo commute. But he does have to transfer midway and take 2 trains to get to work.
You have to wait for people to get out of
Time
the
to transfer
train and
trains.
then time for you to
Right,
get
so I
in.
think Makoto's train is arriving right now. Let's see how he is.
How did he get there first?
Makoto, how was the train ride?
It's
もうい
filming.
つもすごい忙しいです。人がたくさんいて、日本はいつもこんな感じですよ。いつも我慢してます。
Oh look, that's Tokyo Dome. That's pretty cool, but the trains must be crazy busy on game day. Makoto works for a company called Mobile, a SIM card provider in Japan. Makoto was hired straight out of university, and he plans to stay with Mobile his
Oh my god, it feels like half the day is spent just commuting.
Walking.
entire career, another characteristic of a Japanese salaryman. So he's gonna pay with an IC card commonly used in Japan at convenience, trains, taxis, restaurants, and even vending machines, all with one touch. Oh, how convenient. His office is in the same building as the konbini.
That's the case everywhere in like Japan. There's always like a
There's all a
7-Eleven
lot,
or convenience
As
store
the
right
youngest employee in the
downstairs.
company, he's always the first one to arrive at the office. It gives him time to get the office ready and get some work done. Makoto, how many people are in the office?
5人普通5人で今はちょっとインターンが来てます2人
Ooh, this is a small office.
The first person came in. And more. These two ladies are interns that Makoto is helping manage. And that's his boss.
English.
Although it's a small Tokyo office, you can see that Makoto sits next to his boss without any barriers. Open seating style. What are you doing now?
アイスコーヒーを作ります夏なんでみんながアイスコーヒー
Yeah, this is a little
In larger Japanese
atypical.
companies, usually an office lady would prepare tea and coffee in the morning.
Because if your boss was Japanese, you would absolutely have a very different feel.
But in smaller companies, you'll find the youngest person will be tasked with many of the day-to-day administration. Seems like Makoto's happy to do it though.
It's about to get really busy. We're going to be going to a lot of places, but that's kind of like what happens when you work at a small office. You kind of have to do everything. And Makoto, he comes in, turns on the lights, makes the coffee for everyone.
One is it's very rare for any office that will let you go in and film. And I think his boss, being Western, was probably more open to, well, let me show you what it's like. Yeah, because when I used to work in Japan, absolutely no way I could film inside. So secretive.
I don't know, is this like very similar to your country? Let me know in the comments.
He's off to his first appointment now.
I'll be lost. Okay, first of all, in my first day of my job, I'm lost.
We're on this office.
That's the elevator we came in on. But I think here, there's a company here. So it looks like there's like 3 rooms or like 3 companies on this floor. And then you have the men's bathroom and then you have the women's bathroom. Like all videos, let's check out what it looks like. I don't know, do you guys looking at other people's bathrooms or is it just me?
I think it's just you.
Oh, so one toilet on the floor. And with the standard Japanese washlet.
Love those
It
toilets.
looks like they do have the sink area, which is pretty standard as well on most floors of like these like small business floors. I think it's like pretty much required to have like a sink, and instead of having one in your office and everyone shares like this like common space. You know what's actually in these boxes are SIM cards, like free SIM card service for the rest of your life. It's crazy.
What would
So
you
I
do
think I
with
found
tons
something.
of SIM cards?
You can only use one at a time anyways.
What's this?
これは携帯スーツですよ
Someone's
I bet he has to wear that at times.
Makoto, you travel so much. Can't you use taxis instead to get around?
使わないですね普段はなかなかないですねいやタクシーじゃなくてだいたい電車で移動してますからダメだってボスが言ってますからダメです
Yeah, it would be way too expensive. Like 10
Hey,
to
man,
20
it's
times
not
the cost, I
straight.
think.
カバン持っていく持っていきますパソコンだけこれもう出ますよ行ってきます
So now, Makoto and his boss are going to meet with SoftBank, their supplier for SIM cards.
I wonder if they're speaking Japanese or in
I
English.
think they were speaking in English, I think.
So Mikado must speak English well then.
Mm-hmm.
But his boss must speak Japanese very well too if he's
True.
doing business in Japan.
He's in Japan.
Yeah.
In more formal Japanese meetings, it's normal to take several people from your company. In fact, I've been in meetings with more than 10 people from one company attend.
But his boss must
One of the
speak
first
Japanese
business
very
leaders
well
to
too if he's
True.
doing business in
He
is
Japan.
in
Business
Japan.
card
Yeah.
exchange.
I remember you always got to hand the card.
I saw this on Conan video.
At the first meeting, Meshi Kokan is a must. It would be quite embarrassing to not have a card, as you would be viewed as incompetent or a person of no importance. There are many rules such as how to hold the card with both hands, how to dress yourself, how to set the card on the table, and to not put away the card until after the meeting. But that's a
Oh,
video
yeah?
for another
Ooh,
day.
I didn't know that actually. I usually just put it in my pocket after a meeting.
You're rude.
I'm
You're fired.
It's also Japanese business etiquette to show your clients at the elevator, and to maintain the bow until the door closes.
Oh!
So it's 5 o'clock now, and it's just like kind of quiet. Makoto's just finishing up some emails. So there's like not a lot to do before he finishes at 6, aside from all the emails that he missed throughout the day. So he's just working away.
you would expect. The day wouldn't be complete without a visit from the delivery man.
今日は帰ります。お疲れ様でした。
Actually, that's not bad.
Yay! Finally done.
I work longer
Just a little
hours.
past 6.
Exactly.
Time to clock out and call it a
That
day.
means that I
Or
work
maybe
like
not.
with a lot of startups, so my hours can be crazy at times.
Where there's still stay a lot of coworkers still in there.
But he came in early though.
Before going to the next spot, he needs to buy some postage stamps to send out a few documents. Luckily, most convenience stores have a post box inside.
What? Well, that's cool.
Oh, when elections get closer, you'll often see these campaign cars near large stations. So Makoto's company also supports an after-school program. Twice a week, he mentors the kids and eats dinner with them. Not so uncommon for Japanese salarymen to work all these additional hours.
もうちょいで家です。
Oh,
もうちょい
okay.
で帰ります。
So he's kind of
Now
working,
the
but
day is done.
social, like
Back at his
social
home
work kind of
station.
thing. That's cool that he does that though. Alright, getting home at 9 is pretty late actually.
Wow, there's a lot of
Oh
things.
no, he
Yeah, his house is pretty cluttered, huh? There's a lot of people that live there.
still has work after getting home.
今ちょっと簡単に最後の E メールチェックして、イギリスが本社だからちょっと時間ずれて結構入ってきてるんで、寝る前に片付けて寝ます。
That's a true Japanese salaryman spirit. Finally, like most Japanese, a bath at night before he goes to sleep. I mean, who would want to climb into bed after sweating all day without a bath?
Oh, look at the shower.
It's a cool shower. I like Japanese baths actually.
Alright, so that's the end of Makoto's day. What did you guys think? If you guys like this Day in the Life series, I'm actually going to have a bunch more of these, so definitely hit that subscribe button and the bell button if you want to see.
You look a lot more tired than Makoto, dude. You look like you had a much
No,
rougher day.
for sure it's tiring. You know how tiring is it to film.
more of these videos. As you can see, Makoto is just chilling. It's been quite a long day that he's had. He's actually been to so many places, traveling on the train. His sister's just right there, just chilling. I think his mom just came home. It's just been quite a long day. If you guys like this video, help me out and hit that like button. If you guys want to see what I'm doing on the daily, then definitely check out my Instagram channel. And I guess that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Wow, that is very, very interesting.
You live like Japan salaryman.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I think the difference is that when you work in the US, in Japan, and you're paid a salary, your life probably isn't too far off from this, right? I mean, because that's your life is a routine. You go to work and you come home from work, and that's the majority of your day. Especially if you're younger and you're just starting out, you have to constantly prove your worth. You're trying to climb the corporate ladder until maybe like your 30s or 40s, where you can maybe scale back in some of your hours. Although usually by then, if you're doing really well, you continue to work a lot. I think for me, there's two things I think that make it different. One is I tend to work for a lot of startup companies or my own company. And so for me, I actually work a lot longer hours because I feel like what I'm doing is making an investment into something. I'm there to work on something I want to work on, not for a company that like I'm just there to clock in, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people end up working for companies. Like in Japan, you're a lifer usually, although that's changing. But what I mean by that is you work for a company for life. And so you know there's a comfort of that. You want them to do well. You support that. But in the US, you're always trying to grind for the next opportunity. So for me, working extra hours all day, all night, every day, all weekend is because I'm hoping for a big payoff, something cool that's going to come from the end of it. Otherwise, if not for that, I feel like the other scenarios, I get to have choices. Like I said, in Japan, when I was working with Konami, right, which is this big Japanese video game company, a lot of their talent get recruited out of college. They're really hopeful they get into a great company because you end up working for that company, forever. So like, what if you really want to work for Nintendo or really want to work on another game? Almost unheard of for you to switch. And so for me, I don't mind working hard because if I don't like something at some point, I'm like, I'm just going to change jobs. Like on average, I probably change jobs every 2 years over the course of my 20 some year career, right? And I think most people who are younger probably do it even more more often than that. And so I think with those two options, it feels very different than being what I think is the typical stereotype of a Japanese salaryman. Like your life is dedicated to that one office, that one work environment, to the grind every day. And it doesn't change.
Right. So routine.
It's so routine, which I think, some people enjoy, but I don't know if it's ever truly fulfilling. I think that's why some people in Japan wish there was more Western culture influences.
Why don't
in
they
that
change
work
that, knowing that they're so high with the suicide, or they're so high?
Culture is what gets them through, right? I mean, you tell me why most countries do the way they do things. And even the U.S., like, why doesn't U.S. actually have more loyalty to a company? I'd say it's the opposite end, where people say, like, well, it's an open market, so if I don't like my boss, I quit. Any day you can quit in the United States. Yeah, you're supposed to get 2 weeks notice. But the real truth is, if you want to quit today, you can quit today. No loyalty. Well, why is that? It's just the culture. Why don't they change that? Difficult to change culture. For the most part, I think what he has isn't too bad, because I think his office environment isn't the most average. Not having a Japanese boss is very different. One, because I have heard of a lot of scenarios where younger employees can't leave until the boss leaves. And the boss will oftentimes stay as late as possible because he's got to, show upon his boss that he's going to stay long as possible. Like, it's a cycle that never ends. And then oftentimes they have to go out and drink, entertain clients or guests. And for this day, he's not actually out entertaining clients, but he is doing work with these kids. It's part of his works program. So it's very interesting to see. I love this kind of stuff. This is a great video, by the way.
Yes.
So well
Paolo.
produced. Paolo does great stuff.
When John said you look tired, then
yes, I know it's not easy to film and get those shots.
It is not easy.
It's filmed over several days, even though it looked like it's one day. You wonder how he was able to get like some of the video footage, even though he was there before. Well, he was either there the day before and filmed it, or he filmed stuff out of sequence. Like, you're constantly trying to remember every shot, because if you miss one, your story doesn't feel complete. And I feel like he did a great job capturing everything he needed to capture.
Exactly.
Really, real thoughtful.
Great job.
Put together video by him. All right. Hey, if you like more of this kind of stuff and you want us to watch, life in your country, send us a link and we'll check it out.
I love to watch. I love to see what life looks like in your country, to work, daily thing to do.
Perhaps we can appreciate more of the life we got here.
Right.